The air today is oppressively humid. The sun is shining right now, although earlier we had a rainstorm blow over. If there is bad weather coming and there's enough wind to bring it, I can't tell from where it will come.
Time goes by slowly when you're walking great distances. A lot of the time, nothing is going through your mind. You just become like a sensor, taking it all in, looking and watching. Stray thoughts come to mind, snatches of tunes, stray phrases. But other times you just keep walking and become part of the rhythm of the step by step, the setting sun, and the slowly moving landscape. I just passed a sign that said Sun, S-O-N, harvest, advertising some fair. I know what a corn or wheat harvest is, but sun harvest sounds pagan and barbaric. When it's completely quiet, you can hear a car approach 30 seconds before it arrives. With the sound of traffic coming and going, I'm reminded of a scene from North by Northwest, when the main character, Roger, is told to go out in the middle of nowhere and wait. And he ends up on a road with nothing but fields around. There are no people or cars. Hitchcock lets this scene play out slowly so you get a sense of the absurdity and to underscore the setting's isolation. Gradually you hear a car approach and wonder if it's the person he's waiting for. The car gets louder, roars by, and the sound fades away again. Then a bus comes by. That whole scene is my favorite from the movie. There are people right now doing all kinds of things, any number of things. But I don't imagine right now there are all that many walking some mile of a 24-mile leg of a journey that goes roughly 200 miles. I walked along one stretch of the road where the grass of people's lawns went all the way up to the road. There was no shoulder. So they actually have to get partly on the road to cut their lawn. I've never seen that before. The rest of the road, though, is a very wide shoulder that I can walk in and not be too close to traffic. In general, Lake Michigan Drive is one of the best shoulders I've seen on a road. There's a good 2 feet of asphalt shoulder and then 6 feet of small gravel, and then a wide patch of cut grass, which is probably 9 feet. I try to stay off asphalt as much as possible to reduce the shock on my feet, but I don't normally walk in grass either. Grass is usually tall enough that you have to lift your foot higher and expend more energy. Also, and you would maybe never notice these things if you weren't walking for hours a day, when the terrain is a little more uneven, your ankles flex more and actually become tired enough to look for smooth surfaces to walk on. Out of Africa, my audiobook companion for this walk is by a woman named Itzhak Dinesen and is about her life on a coffee plantation in Kenya. They made a movie out of it with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford. It's a great book, and it's listed on Random House's top 100 books of all time. I wanted to pick a really good book to use like a companion on my walk that would give me good subject matter and inspire good writing. I seem to be in an abandoned nursery of some kind. There are high weeds, and scattered around are flats of plants wrapped in white plastic. Where the plants aren't wrapped in plastic, you can see that they are all dead. I walked into this field to take a picture of a strange gate. There's just a gate in the middle of the field, a half circle framed with a doorway and hung with tarp that leads to nothing, from nothing, not even a path. I'm passing 128th Street now. It's a paved road, but it only has fields on either side. Strangely enough, the field that I'm walking alongside right now is a field of shrubs, a crop of shrubs. These shrubs must then head into people's yards. I don't even particularly like shrubs. The little shrubs are quite far apart. The owners must not be worried about their acreage. They are in places 5 to 6 feet apart, and there's no rhythm to them. They're just randomly placed. The grass is cut short enough here that I'm able to walk in it without raising my feet any higher, which is nice. Now I'm in a field of a different kind of shrub, and they are all shoulder to shoulder. I don't mean to dwell on negative comments, but I heard more than once that this walk is kind of weird, or that it won't help me, or something similar. Hearing it more than once must mean that it indicates an attitude on life, and it makes me wonder what it is that people find weird. If I said I wanted to drive from one side of the state to the other, people wouldn't give it a second thought. So is it just that I'm not in a car and it takes longer? And why would someone find that weird for someone else? Wouldn't they just say, that's not something I would do? Now I'm passing an active nursery, and I'm realizing that the strange gate I passed a while back was once part of a long ribbed structure from which tarps can be hung to shield the plants. The smells range as you walk along the road. Right now I smell something like fuel oil that I've been smelling for quite a while. I'm guessing it's from the asphalt. It looks new. At one point I thought I smelled pizza, but I was in the middle of nowhere. I could have stood in the middle of the road to take a picture, so I don't know where that smell was coming from. I seem to be in an abandoned nursery of some kind. There are high weeds, and scattered around are flats of plants wrapped in white plastic. Where the plants aren't wrapped in plastic, you can see that they are all dead. I walked into this field to take a picture of a strange gate. There's just a gate in the middle of the field, a half circle framed with a doorway and hung with tarp that leads to nothing, from nothing, not even a path. The only words I've spoken with anyone today are, "What time is it?" at the entrance to Kirk Park. And then a few minutes ago with two children, "Hi," and "Bye," and then "Hi" again. In The English Patient, Count Almasi tells Catherine Clifton that he once took a trip with a man who spoke only once during the whole day. That was a good day, he said. I mentioned criticism of people who express bewilderment of anyone who would walk across Michigan, but I have had moments in the middle of a training walk where I think, why am I doing this? But then again, that was more thought than I gave to anything I did yesterday or the day before, so I think even the question has value. And I do wonder a little bit why the burden of proof is on me concerning why I'm doing this walk. Couldn't I turn it around and ask my critics, why aren't you doing this? Or, why are you shaving? Why are you working? I wonder how many people couldn't stand to spend a day walking, even if they had the strength. How many people can't stand to be alone with themselves without the noise of daily schedules, television, people? I feel like if we don't take moments like these, however short or long, to step out of the context of our lives, then everything else is just distraction.